Hi, Julie here. I just thought I'd give you a little run through on how I created this image here, which I called the Master's Chair, which includes my dog Dexter. So I started off with a couple of images. I actually did an expanded image to get the bottom of the chair and the top of the chair in frame, and then it was just a matter of, because they were handheld, just adjusting their perspective a little bit so that they all matched up. Once I got that done, then it was just a matter of sort of putting on a layer mask and removing what I didn't need, and setting the crop up and all the rest of it. It's just a matter of going through and cleaning it up. I used the Fill Content Aware to clean up some areas of the image as well. Just made life a little bit easier. They weren't perfect, but it just helped when I was going through to pop in some other images. Now, I did initially use this one. This is just from Pixabay, and I started playing around with it, but I decided in the end that I really didn't like the perspective on it, so I got rid of it. So I'm using the new selector mask to mask out the background. I only did it really loosely because I will come in a bit later and clean it up. Now I decided that I like this image a lot more, but it did leave a little bit of the background exposed, so I had to go in and play with that. So yeah, the books are oversized, but I was quite happy with that because it's sort of a creative piece that didn't bother me. So I was going through and cleaning it up. I darkened around all the edges. My other little dog Chloe, you could just see there, was just a white or a cream coloured blob in the background, so I just wanted to get rid of her from that. And I was just going through and darkening the background. Now in the actual picture I have got a flash in here with a red gel, and that's what we use to light this area of this scene up. I did also have another studio light that was lighting from on top down, which also lit the front of it up, but it just having the light in the lamp there gave it a little bit of a realistic feel to it. So I was just tidying it up, playing with my layer masks, masking stuff on, masking stuff off. Just a little bit of a clean up. This of course is speeded up a bit. Resizing that because it was still just maybe a touch too big, and I wanted to darken the edges off on that, so I really just wanted the light to illuminate where it would be coming from the lamp. I also had this other one of books that I popped on the floor and just played around with the exposure and everything on that. Added a shadow in underneath and removed what I didn't want, so just went in with the mask. So it's a little bit fiddly sometimes, but totally worth it. And like I said, I then went in with a soft black brush, and I just painted shadows in under it so it looks like it matches in, and did a curves layer to darken it up quite significantly. Closed off a few other images. Now I went in and Dexter, I wanted to make him stand out a little bit more. He was a bit dark on that side of his face, so I did a curves mask and brightened him up. I then went in, you could actually, the detail on the camera was so good you could read the brand of the flash in there. So I went in and cleaned that up and just tidied up my mask a little bit more. Like I said, I was a bit loose with it earlier. And now I'm just going to come in and tidy all of that up. So these things are a little bit fiddly. So I then went and got some textures that I put in on the wall just to give it a bit of depth, because it was just plain black. I put a doorway on the other side, but it's really quite dark. You can't see too much of it in the finished image, just a hint of something there. I then did some orbs and glowing light to give some light from the lamp. Some of those are just overlays, so you just have to, they're black with the light on them, so you just have to set them to screen mode and it drops the black out and leaves you with the light. So just playing around, did a high pass for the texture on the dog and the chair, added another layer over the top, took it into Boris Effects and did a couple of little effects in there. There was silk and another lighting render in there. I ran a couple of actions and played around with different aspects within the action itself. These are from the Colour Lab, and dropped the opacity of them too. I then went and added some lookup tables. I really love that orange-green one, but you still have to play around with it a little more because it's a bit dark for some things. So just drop the opacity, recrop it. I did an exclusion layer with a solid colour, which is sort of a browny, sort of bluey colour, and just played around with my curves and my levels. I just wanted to build the highlights up around the lamp and the dog and have everything else fade off into shadow like it would if that was lit by a candle. I then took it into impressions and I did a Monet filter to it, which I love it just as it is. I did Monet 2, I think. Or was it Monet 1? One of those. No, it was Monet 1. But I don't want it at 100%. I just want a little bit of it. I want the sort of the books and everything on the table to look very painterly, but not so much on the dog. So I then did a layer mask and I masked it off of him, especially around his eyes and things like that. So that's the finished piece. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.